never really, it's a bit like Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolate, you know what I mean? You sort of never know what type of chocolates are in there. And, when I started yesterday, it was a lot of atmosphere also yesterday, and some horses then was a little bit more tense. I just tried to have a system with every horse, just to see that every horse gets a fair shot. I tried just to make sure that I can test them the same today as I did yesterday, because it's a day in between, which is not easy. But I have to say, overall, the standard of the horses were really good, even if some were a bit tense. Even the horse that I couldn't ride, I still really liked it when it just moved around. And I know the horse will be a super nice horse in the end. It just needs a bit more time. But I also have to be fair. When the horses are not quite ready for this, then I also have to be fair to the horse and also to myself as a rider, not to test it. It is, everyone also knows that when you come, this is what's happened, so what's happening here. So the horses also need to be confident in this environment to do it. And I have to say that, especially also today, but also a couple of yesterday, it felt very, very good. They were very well prepared, the horses. And I don't try to ask for a lot. I just want the horses to, first of all, show relaxation, and then also show that from the relaxations you can also put the power in them, but then also relax again. Because for me, as a future Grand Prix horse, I always think it's really important that the horses can do both. They have to be super easy at relaxing, but they also have to be super sharp when you want to come. Like when you say, okay, now we have to do passage, because that's what the whole Grand Prix is built up on, is relaxation, power, relaxation and power. And I think some horses, especially, I have to say, I had one mare yesterday, the Forest Count mare, I thought was fantastic. Okay, it was maybe a little bit pulling in between, so I didn't give it a 10 for the rideability, but the horse had a lot of qualities, like you felt the horse trotting through. A couple of other horses also just well ridden, like also Catherine Dafour, I say it again, maybe not the biggest mover, but very well schooled horse, easy to ride, happy, it's just a lot of easiness to do. Today, of course, Andreas' horse, I have to say, was exceptional for me. I think I've done a couple of test ridings in my life, and I think that horse just gave everything. Like you took the rein long, the thing walked. You put up the rein, it was super hot, but like in a super, like it's power but without tension. And then you could canter, and the horse just like, and everything was, you felt any second you can put it down, but still you had it up. She was carrying, but you could also even stretch her and you can carry her. It was just a way of, like, a real pleasure. And you sat in the saddle, the horse really took you somewhere, and you could sit in the saddle. Some horses today were maybe a little bit tight in the body, and you could feel a bit when you sat down that they got a bit like, not quite comfortable to sit, and they lost a bit of their balance, their own balance. And I don't want to test much, but I do want to test that the horse is comfortable to sit, that the horse is comfortable to stretch, that the horse is comfortable to go back and forwards in the gates. That's what I think is a 5-year-old's sort of the job, what they need to do. So very happy.
So you wanted to take home Queen Park's Windy today. I heard you
I
asked
wanted
for
to home
a horse
actually
trailer.
a couple.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this one, and I want this one. Bettina rode a really nice stallion. I really liked it. You could also, with that horse, you rode it backwards, forwards, didn't move anything. Ears in front, neck, hand perfect. And you could just, what I mean? The body gets, you work the body, but the feeling still stays the same. And I thought that was really cool. The Chestnut May yesterday, I mean, I get a lorry full here, it's no problem, It's just
Yeah, but you just asked for a trailer. Then you need a
I
lorry.
should have taken a lorry.
Yeah. So they sell that too here.
Yeah, they do.
Could you tell us a little bit about the perspectives? What do you think is in the future for Queen Park's Windy?
For me, I think with that horse, I mean, for me, it's a horse that can take the medal on, for sure, a medal on the World Championships. I mean, I don't see anything that could stop it for it. I mean, as long as it does the test, okay, now, I ride around and I can do transitions when I want, and it's a big arena and you have a lot of space. Okay, when you go to a show, you have 2060 and you have to do it on the spot, and anything can happen. But quality-wise from the gates, it's very few young horses that I've tested that felt that way, I have to say. Very few horses in general. So
you have been sitting on the future Olympic horse.
I think for sure I'm sitting on a horse that in the future will show a lot of promise. If it gets in this way and gets educated this way, I am sure that horse will show its potential in the future, no doubt. But also said that every horse also has to have the match rider, and every horse also has to have the right education to the front.
So could you tell us a little bit more about the highlights from the past 2 days?
I think the highlights is that the quality of the horses are overall very good. I think even like the ones that were very tense, they still showed parts and pieces that I really liked riding. I try to find the best thing in every horse when I test them. I think the highlights for me is that the audience here is very kind. I feel very honored having standing ovation when I finished. The people are laughing. It is a competition, it is a show, but it's also, we don't forget that it's also fun. It has to be fun to be around the horse. It has to be fun to go and watch this. And I think that the audience really showed that as well, that they are involved with us. They're interacting with the rider and the horses, and for me that is a key for the success of the sport.
So can you tell us something about what you gained from riding these young horses?
More experience, quickness, because I don't ride so many 5-year-olds anymore. But one jumped to the side and I sort of lost my stare. I was like, whoa, you need to sharpen up your game here and get back in the saddle. Especially also I worked with Charlotte through this Hall of Fame, and I could proudly say, oh yeah, here, this one I have ridden, and this one I've ridden, and this one I'm still riding, this one I've ridden. It's quite a lot of fun to be able to actually, you joke and maybe say this may be the next Olympic gold medal, but what if it is that one? And then you can say as a 5-year-old, I actually rode it and I loved it.
And you gave 10-10 for Wendy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a message from one of the spectators. She gave you 10-10.
Oh, that's nice. I think
Because
Yeah, I had a lot of I also had a couple of other 10s, but it was just like the Chestnut Mare. It was for me. If she would have been a little bit more she pulled away a couple of times. Of course, I cannot give them a 10. But if she would have also done what Andrea, then that one also for me would have gotten 10-10 actually for riding. I had the one, I think it was from Bettina, who got a 10 as well, the black one, because it just was so
obedient,
perfect. You know what I mean? Any transition, any forward, anything was just all in balance.
Yeah.
And that is the rideability.
Yeah.
But with Andreas one, it was just both things was there. It was the capacity was there and the rideability.
Would you compare that mare to any of the Grand Prix mares that you have?
Yeah,
Would they say they're very similar?
It's a long way to go, and I normally hate, me.
Yeah,
I normally
I
hate
it.
comparing horses because I think every horse is very unique.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the horse has all the right boxes to be. You can take it back, you make it quick. You felt the people applauded, and instead of getting scared, she actually just started doing almost passage instead, and and you're like, wow, this is. She has the right mind to do it, and for me, the sport horses today, we have to breed, I say it again and again, not horses for amateur or not horses for professional. We have to breed a horse that anyone can ride. And that is for me the important thing. It's not this for the amateurs, this for the professionals. It's a horse. Anyone should be able to ride it. And I think that, for example, the mare from Andreas, I could put anybody on it and they would have a good time. And that's what I seek.
So the horses are just 5 years old. How do you think that they are educated by now?
I think they're really good. I mean, some horses, like I said again, some horses were maybe a little bit tired, some horses were a bit overwhelmed, some horses were perfect for the job, but it's a young age. The horses are also loud. I don't judge a horse, of course for the test I have to give a point, but I don't judge the horse's career on 10 minutes on a 5-year-old. They can do stuff, they can have a bad day, they can be tired, they can be crazy, but they can still be amazing horses in the end of the day. And for me, when I judge them here, I just want to see a good rideability, and I just want them to do simple basics exercises.
So you basically test the steering, the
Yeah.
gas, and the brakes.
Because
That's
in
it.
Grand Prix,
Yeah.
that's what you need.
Yeah.
You need to be able to brake, you need to be able to have the horse sharp, but you still need to have the horse very quiet and relaxed. That's what you need in Grand Prix. Good mouth. I have to say the horses in general had very good mouth. I was one or two who maybe was a little bit strong or crooked, a little bit gaping, but overall I have to say the horses were very good, taking the contact, which I think has been a little bit of a problem in the general dressage for a little bit longer time, and I think that is actually getting a lot better. The horses are going more into the contact without getting strong into the contact, and I also like with the legs, a lot of the horses were very attentive for the leg, quick, but you know, you have to be able to put the leg on, but you don't need to use it really. But some horses you could not even touch, you know, you can't control, and then that's not for me, you know, the right way. You need to be able to control the horse with the leg as well. It's been really interesting. It's been a lot of fun too, I have to say. I really enjoy doing it.
So how is it to like ride these young horses in an arena like this with lights and people and
And the
flowers
screens are starting
and,
to flimple,
all
and it's
the-
like it is. I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, deny that every time you get on, you don't know what you get, and you know, I mean, like I said again. I mean, if the horses doesn't feel that they are right for it, then I also get off. I mean, that is how it is. I mean, the horses has to be prepared. If the horse, I give the horse a chance, they can also be a bit tense. But if they get too crazy, then it's not okay. So it is really, you know, the atmosphere makes the horses sometimes, you know, the applause for the one before, and it is what it is. But in general, it is quite exciting. It's a little bit of an adrenaline kick, you know, because you're like sort of, you know, what's going to happen. Some you immediately just like breathe, and some you're like, okay, maybe I need to like, you know, take the leg a little bit off and good. No. Like so, maybe not go quite as far to the track, you know, stay a little bit in the circle in the middle, and you have your little tricks how to try to get it to be like in a good way.
So you said that you had to flirt a little with the mares. What do you mean when you say
No,
that?
but it's just, you know, with the girls, it's like when the moment you have the trust. I mean, I've ridden a lot of mares now. I used to never ride mares, but I actually really enjoy them because once you get them on your side, they get so wanting to do their job. They like just want to do more and more and more. But if you immediately go a little bit at them, they say, "Meh, I don't want to do it." And then you have difficulty getting them there. But if you take a little bit more time with them, they always sort of give you, actually for me, even more than stallions. So I really enjoy riding mares now. And of course also now with the breeding, before it was sort of like you bred the mares to give foals, you keep the stallions and the geldings, but now it's actually more and more really good mares, and with the embryo and everything what we do now, you also have the possibility to also compete these great mares.
Yes, and this year's winner was a mare as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you
Yeah.
know, World Equestrian Games, Isabel was a mare.
Yeah.
I had a mare. I mean, there's a lot of mares out there now, which I love. I mean, the sport is, as you know, for everybody, gender free. It's like.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Okay.
Are
Thank you for
happy?
coming.
Are you welcome?
Yeah.
Video.
Video?
Mm.
Video.